Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? My very first movie review with my buddy John since last time we hung out officially at his place and back in Halloween. I mean, he'd visited some before, but it's the first time we're hanging out after we're all fully vaccinated and stuff like that. And he was vaccinated for a while. Finally, my stuff finally started kicking in a couple days back, so we're hanging out
Kicked out
again.
the jams.
Yeah, kick out the jams. I like this song. Come on, kick them out. And we're here to review long lost George Romero movie called The Amusement Park.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously what it was about. It was basically about the horrors of being elderly in America. And so what I read online was, because we found this on Shudder. I saw something out and forgot about it. And I'm like, we loaded into Shudder and saw this. It's only about 53 minutes, but it was a film that he got hired to do by like some Lutheran organization about elderly abuse, and that's what the whole thing is about. But yeah, it might have been used for a while, but then got shelved and forgotten about till all these years later. It's just rediscovered a few years ago, and Romero's widow and some other people restored it, or restored it to 4K resolution
For Indiegogo campaign. I think they did that. I believe.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I said. I mean, and then it was like restored. And I think it said it had a budget of $37,000.
Budget of $37,000 when it was
back there when it was filmed
in '73.
Yeah,
it was between Season of Witch and the Crazies. He did that.
Yeah,
he said it was his only work for hire. Besides when he was a commercial. Maker, because that's how he started, was doing commercials.
Oh yes, through Latent Image, and they mentioned a lore production too on this too.
Yeah, because Rubenstein was involved with this, and Heinzman, who was the very first zombie in Night of the Living Dead, whose daughter went to Edinburgh.
Oh, that's cool. And then
I met him, Heinzman.
Oh, that was the very first thing, because Dad said if he knew about it, he would have taken me to that. That was the very first thing to start Horror Fest, was like the thing with Bill Heisman and the showing of Night of the Living Dead at Edinburgh University, I believe it was.
No, it was at the. It used to be the Holiday Inn in Edinburgh.
Oh, Holiday, okay.
And it was just a small room that they rented, and it was Heinzman and what's the writer's name? Screenplay writer.
Russo.
Yeah, John Russo.
John Russo, cool.
Yeah, and that's because Heinzman's daughter worked for the Papa Rupp's video store, I believe Greg said. So. Yeah, that's how that came about, and he had a special showing on Laserdisc. They talked about movie filmmaking and all that stuff. It was really fascinating. That was one of the precursors to the Erie Horror Fest.
Yeah, I didn't know about it, though I was going to that see what taking me to it. But I mean, this was really. I mean, it's very unusual. It's like I said about how elderly are treated. Through the setting of an amusement park. I mean, it's very exaggerated, but I mean, it's actually quite good. I felt bad for the guy.
Because it shows all these little things that they go through and how they're treated.
Yeah.
And not abuse as in just like beaten up.
Yeah, not beaten up, but I mean, just treated.
Mistreatments too and stuff, and scammed and all kinds of things. So it was just fascinating. If you're a Romero fan, you might be interested. Most people, I don't know. We're talking about that. We don't know.
Yeah, this goes right up next to, There's Always Vanilla. A lot of people didn't like that. I didn't mind it. I mean, but that was like his romantic comedy. What's that?
Is that by Vanilla Fudge?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, I think it was like a romantic comedy. So he did. He said the less known about that, the better. George Romero. He didn't want to talk about it. I mean, I saw some segment talking about Season of Witch, and then he said the less talking about There's Always Vanilla, the better. But he didn't mind Season of Witch that much. But it's along that same lines as Season of Witch are Always Vanilla. I liked it, though. I mean, 53 minutes, I think it ran its course. But I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was clever, them having us take eye tests to go on the bumper cars and stuff like that, get in an accident.
Well, yeah, how they treat elderly in an accident situation. And my grandmother had that. She got hit, and it was not her fault. And a cop started asking her questions and stuff. And my grandfather was a cop. Of course, he had passed away by now. And you're not supposed to start taking these questions. You're supposed to wait because, right after a crash, somebody's not going to be quite in the right mind. So, but because she was elderly, they decided it was her fault. But it wasn't her fault. The person ran the stop sign and hit her. So, and they kind of show that how this guy makes a wrong turn and the elderly people crash into him, but it's determined to be elderly people's fault because they're elderly. And that's just the type of shit that goes on.
Yeah. It was not. I felt really bad for the guy, but I mean, the way it was clever though. I mean, I think maybe some people might, I don't know if people like her or not. I give it 8 out of 10. I thought it was clever. I liked it.
Yep.
If you're a fan of George Romero, I definitely recommend it. And now drink a pop. So I guess that's it for me and my buddy John. They're always there's always
something.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's always amusement park. No, the amusement park on Shudder. I need go expand restoring a lost film George. It's cool, man. If you like George Romero, So until next time, everybody, please take care of my legion.